CBS 21 News presents the 2025 Harrisburg Mayoral Debate.
Here we go. Thanks for being here, everybody, for this special CBS 21 Mayoral Debate. I'm Joel D. Smith. I'll be your moderator tonight. All 5 candidates running for the Democratic side are here trying to be your next Harrisburg mayor. So we want to thank all of them for joining us and for you watching this live streaming on CBS 21's Facebook page and also on YouTube. And it'll be there for a while, so share it with your friends. Let's introduce you to all of the candidates. With the honors, let's go to Jasmine Brooks.
In January of 2022, Wanda Williams was sworn in as Harrisburg's 39th mayor. She's the former president of Harrisburg City Council and member of the Harrisburg School Board. After taking office, the mayor announced the city's debt, which came with a $638 million price tag, had been paid off. Throughout her term, the mayor has faced the loss of the beloved Broad Street Market, which has sparked controversy. And controversy is familiar when it comes to the mayor and her next candidate, Harrisburg Councilman Lamont Jones, who is no stranger to the public. In fact, his current job is to serve the public. The elected official founded a company that connects people looking for jobs with employers. He's also led a nonprofit in the past, which addressed behavioral health and substance abuse. A lawsuit claiming Jones's ineligibility to previously be on the ballot because of a criminal conviction, which has been pardoned, ended with Jones not only staying on the ballot, but winning a seat on city council. Overcoming adversity reigns true with our next mayoral candidate. Tone Cook is the founder of Michael's Memory, Push Harrisburg, a nonprofit in honor of his brother, who died as a teen to gun violence. Cook says he wants to be a bridge between the police and the city. Cook is open about his time in prison and currently being on probation for assault, but says this absolutely does not disqualify him from running. Dan Miller is the current city treasurer and announced his bid for mayor in January. He recently pitched an idea to tackle nearly $15 million in unpaid trash fees. Miller has said he wants to move Harrisburg forward, citing its potential that Louis Butts sees as well. Butts is proposing building an aquarium in the city to get more people to visit. And according to his Facebook page, he's the owner of Aquila Aquarium Designs. Butts is no stranger to the mayoral race and has run 5 times before. In a 2017 mayoral debate, Butts said, quote, "It's about making people better, empowering and nurturing our residents." And these are your 5 Democrats running to serve Harrisburg as mayor ahead of the May 20th election. I'm Jasmine Brooks for CBS 21.
Thanks a lot, Jasmine. So we're going to go for a full hour here, maybe a little bit more. We'll see how this goes. Each candidate gets 1 minute to answer the question. If a candidate specifically names another person in that answer, then that candidate will get an additional 30-second rebuttal. There will be no opening statements. We're going to get right to it. Each candidate, though, will have a 90-second closing remark. And when the time runs out, the candidates will hear this bell. Oh, yeah, that's the bell. And you see also to my right over here, to your left on the screen, those are the lights that the candidates will see. It is green when they start off. 15 seconds left, you'll see the yellow. And then when we get to red, you then hear the ding. Now you know how we're doing this. All right, so the candidates on your screen, we decided who was going to go first by determining a random card drawing. I just shuffled them up and handed them out. And as you see the order here, that's the order we'll start in. As we get going, we'll alternate who actually goes first. But it looks like Louis Butts will get us started today. So a specific question for you. We're going to start with some qualifications. And for you in particular, you've run a handful of times before. The last time you got 125 votes. Tell us why the outcome might be different this time if people are thinking about voting for you.
Well, I put out a lot of different projects and ideas that have come to help in the future. I've seen 5 different administrations fail and succeed. With me as your mayor, I can take the best from those administrations and do better. Our communication is bad. We don't have a good newspaper. Like in the other administrations, we had newspapers that could relay information and give information to our citizenry. Now it's a lack, and we don't get the information that we need to help unite our people. And I can do better at the uniting and putting that infrastructure pieces that help people communicate and bring it to the future, bring it all to the forefront. So we need a newspaper, we need a radio station, and we need a good TV station that brings our culture to the front so we can communicate and move forward.
Thank you very much. So our next question goes to Mr. Tone Cook.
Yes.
So you're currently on probation in connection with an assault charge. What
Yes.
do you say to some voters out there who might have concerns about your decision making when they hear about that and some prior criminal history?
Yes, no problem. For anyone that is concerned of any thing that I may have done in my past, even the present, I take full responsibility into anything in involvement that I've been in. So that's something that I won't deny, but that does not disqualify me to lead our city. That hasn't disqualified me from standing at homes, speaking with parents, speaking with children to help them get through their process. And again, we can look at America. Look at the President Donald Trump. If this brother is capable of running the whole United States, what disqualifies me to run the city of Harrisburg?
Once again, we're talking about qualifications. We're going to go next to Mr. Dan Miller. You've been in the city for a while, treasurer for 6 years, overall in government for 20 years. Some may wonder why you haven't already made some changes that you're even calling for in that period of time, and now you're ready for mayor, but why not yet?
Well, I have made changes. I've made changes that I can actually accomplish. I mean, on city council, I've passed legislation. I've had a plan to solve our financial crisis when I was the controller. As a treasurer, I've put all of our real estate taxes online, so it's completely transparent. I believe big time in transparency. So I've made changes. I'd love to collect that $13, $14 million of delinquent trash fees, but I can't do it myself. And so that's why that hasn't been done. I've been trying since 2018. It's a win-win-win situation for everyone in the city, and I think we're going to get there.
Thank you very much. On to more qualifications here, this time with Mr. Lamont Jones. So you're still serving as your first term in Harrisburg City Council. How do you respond to those out there who may say, you know, you don't have a lot of experience and enough experience maybe to run an entire city?
I would just say, I would just like to explain how many years I've spent around politics. Working campaigns. I actually teach civics in Dauphin County Prison. I'm one of 2 elected representatives for the Pennsylvania Reentry Coalition. I've been in leadership positions for the last 10 years. And, you know, when people talk about experience, you know, you look at a lot of these administrations, there's a lot of experience on the stage right now, you know, and look at the state of our city, you know, so I'm definitely qualified. I'm deep roots in the city of Harrisburg. I know the city, the back of my hand, the people in it, and they've seen me work for them and fight for them time and time again. And this seat will be no different.
On to Ms. Wanda Williams. You're the current mayor, so obviously you're qualified. You've done this job before. But other times people might say, okay, but do we want to have her back again? What was accomplished during those 4 years? So when people are looking for maybe something different, what would you say to them that maybe should have happened or maybe you want to get done next time?
Well, first of all, let me tell you about my qualifications. Before I was the president of the Harrisburg School Board, I then became the president of Harrisburg City Council, and now in this position as the mayor. I certainly been proven my leadership skills, my knowledge and experience in this position. I got rid of $638 million debt that was sitting there for the last 20 years. Prior to me doing that, I paid off many of our bonds, as well as I have affordable housing for veterans. I have the Tunnel for Towers, I have the Eden Village in Valpo. And then I even brought in 250 more homes for low-income housing for individuals. Pavement of streets throughout the city, demolition of blighted properties, trash now hauling that we have 3 different communities are now utilizing our services. So I've done a lot as mayor, and I could do more, but you know, I need the help of council. I need them to work with me, not against me.
Thank you very much. We're going to get to public safety right now. So obviously, this is a big deal for some folks out there. When it comes to this first question, you'll all have a chance to answer it. What is the root cause of crime in Harrisburg, and what is your plan to combat it? This time we're starting with Mr. Tone Cook.
I definitely have a plan to combat. I've actually been showing this over the previous years that I have been active in our community, even as an activist. But one of my plans for public safety is to have a team establish boots on the ground that deals with community leaders, bringing in also different local-based religious groups. And one that'll be dealing with safety. There will be another branch that'll be dealing with mental health issues that I'll have based around the city of Harrisburg and offering more information. So that's a part of the public safety plan that I do have and moving forward. Honestly, the city of Harrisburg has been at its worst, and we've already discussed this. In a period of 36 years, the level of crime has increased. So I truly believe that I can have a very good impact on stopping the violence, or at least slowing the violence down that's going on in our communities today.
Thank you. Dan Miller, you've seen the city, you live in the city, you've seen what's going on. What do you think when it comes to the question, what's the root cause of the problem with crime, and what would you do to change it?
Well, I would say the root cause is poverty and education. I mean, we've got to have people educated so that they know that they can have a better life. They don't need to use criminal means to get ahead. I mean, so we need to improve our schools. We need to make sure people have job opportunities. My neighbors, I've been not really a victim, but a witness to shootings right at my garden in Atlas Street in Harrisburg. And we've had other criminal shootings there, and even a death on 4th and Woodbine Street just last summer. And my neighbors want cameras. I mean, it's important to tackle those root causes, but that's a very difficult thing to happen immediately. So what we can do is I'm hoping to replicate a system that they have in Lancaster of hundreds of cameras all over the city. Let's get the information and maybe get these criminals off of the streets, make the place safer for all citizens.
Mr. Lamont Jones, same question to you. The root cause of crime, what do you think it really is, and what's the game plan that should work?
Yeah, so being the current public safety chair, I can see when I do get the quarterly reports and what's going on in the community, the biggest numbers that jump out to me is our youth. That's where we'll see a lot of the activity and the uptick in violence and crime in the city of Harrisburg. So one of the things that I've already been doing is working with our youth, going into the schools, holding assemblies, trying to work with them and give them opportunities. And this is why I have Jones's Resources, lowering the recidivism rate. If someone is employed with gainful employment, they're less likely to go out in the community and commit crimes. So one of the things, as some of the other people up here may believe, that there is a poverty issue. When we look around, there's no jobs, the families aren't working. That's a strain on a lot of people. And what I've come to find, that a lot of people don't want to be involved in crime. Out of necessity, they got to try to find a way to live. So I'm already have some things in place that I'm doing, and also looking to other municipalities to bring those things right here to the city of Harrisburg.
Well, a question about that coming up soon, too. Compared to some other cities, what Harrisburg might do. But I want to get this question one more time now with current mayor, Ms. Wanda Williams. The root cause of crime, in your opinion, and what is the best plan to combat it for you would be a second term?
Yes. Well, education certainly plays a priority in, eliminating crime. But we have to have the parent involvement, too, as well. And we did start a parent committee. We had a good meeting at the beginning, and then it just phased out. Parents didn't want to come. But what we are doing now is that we're in the process of installing Ring cameras throughout the city of Harrisburg. But you have to call and ask if you want one. And also we have plans for mobile cameras as well. We do have the GVI Group Violence Program. It's under good management and it's off and running. They're reaching out to the community each day. And then we also have the CSAs that are out there communicating with our citizens and our residents. So when you talk about crime, you have a gang thing that's on media, and then you can't get a hold of that media, and once you look around, there's another shooting. But we do have extra police officers out on the street Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights.
Thank you very much. There's a question from the public. We went out there and wanted to see what the real people were thinking, so we're going to put that on. I think people that are watching online right now will be able to see it as well. So let's listen to what one of the Harrisburg residents has a question when it comes to all of you candidates.
How do we help children to be less on the streets? If they have more things to do, maybe there won't be so much gun violence, So how do we help them to get them more involved in the community and save lives with the children, teenagers, and get them more interacting?
I'll summarize, and we missed the beginning of that. Yeah, she's basically saying we need more programs for kids. You give kids something to do, they might stay off the streets. And she experienced that. She's actually a lifelong resident and said they had great things when she was a kid. She doesn't see the same things anymore. We're going to start with Dan Miller on the response to her question.
Excuse me, I didn't get the answer.
Yeah, you didn't.
Oh, I apologize. You're right. We're going to jump back one. Thank you very much. My game plan here got beyond me. Let's get to you, and then we're going to get to answering that woman's question. Thanks. So the question again to you. Thank you. The root cause of crime in Harrisburg and your plan to combat it. Thanks.
Well, the root cause, it's a systematic thing. We have to have great jobs. We have to have activities, and we have to have a love for one another. That will solve the problem. Dan Miller had suggested cameras. Well, 2 administrations ago, if you look back at some of the debates, I'm the one that put the cameras up front. That's the difference between us, me, and them. I've actually proposed those cameras 10 years ago. Now, we need a police academy so we can teach our kids how to resolve situations. We need a fire academy, and we need a river rescue team. Kids are falling in the river almost every day in our community. We have one lost now in York. We need a responsive river rescue team that we can teach our citizenry to respond quicker with the proper equipment. We need to have choppers if people are falling in the river. They need to be rescued. We need to find those people. We need to be accountable for those people. And we need to be responsible for our citizenry.
Thank you very much, and sorry about the mix-up there. Let's now get to Dan Miller on the answer to the question that we saw from the public. Ideas for kids, things for kids, and is that part of the solution?
Well, I do think we need to have kids, should be off the streets. But I do think we do have some of those programs. I know the Y has programs for kids. I know the city has summer programs. Boys and Girls Clubs have programs for kids. So I do think there are places for kids to go, and they need to be active in them and follow them. The other thing is we need to provide jobs, especially for maybe the older kids, because if they do have a summer job or a part-time job, that gives them some money in their pocket. If they have money in their pocket, they don't need to go and rob somebody or commit some crime or sell drugs. So I'd like to start a program where we can sort of take some employers and match them with kids in Harrisburg to give them jobs. I think that's really as much as important as other programs.
And I like how we got some specifics on there as well. So we'll go to Mr. Lamont Jones. Ideas for kids, some specifics.
So again, one of the things when we're dealing with our youth, what's going on in our community, it's a culture thing. It's not so much a police issue. This is we should be policing our own community in 2025. And some of the ideas that I have is to work again in intergovernmental relationships, working with the Harrisburg School District. We have schools. They let people out of school at 2 or 3 o'clock. We taxpayers, people pay taxes. Those buildings still are getting heated. They are still getting cooled. So we can put high quality after school programs back in there. I went to Marcus Garvey when I was a young man on 6th Street, over top of the YMCA Mr. Miller was talking about. So some of these things, we have to revamp them. We can't really duplicate because we're in a different era today. So again, if you're not amongst those young people and can't see what's happening, it's going to be a very tough time to try to solve some of these issues.
We'll go to Ms. Wanda Williams. Are there enough programs now? What else would you do?
Oh, most certainly, most certainly. All you have to do is go up on the website. We have a tremendous amount of programs for kids. As a matter of fact, we do have after-school programs in a lot of the areas in the city of Harrisburg. As well as that, when you talk about jobs, we have the governor committed to 5,000 jobs that he has vacant in the city, in the state building. So when you talk about kids, we also have wanting to have jobs over the summer. This city of Harrisburg gives about 80 to 90 jobs, but City Council, we had 115. They told us that was too many. We couldn't do 115. But we did have 80 kids working last year. Plus the fact is that we've given money to the Harrisburg Housing Authority in the amount of $200,000 to make sure that the kids have an opportunity to have a job during the summer. It just has to make, the parents have to be responsible. Go up on the website and see what we have. We have something each and every month for those kids.
Thank you. Louis Butts, when it comes to the things for kids, what are some ideas you have?
Well, I have an idea that we should take McCormick's Island, which is 145 acres, and use it as an outdoor center. When I was growing up, we had an outdoor center. There's the Jewish Center up there that we can collab and make that a team thing, where we can teach kids within the school and then have them camp out, learn about gardens. McCormick's Island was a cash crop in the 1940s. We can go back to that. And with the tariffs going down, our kids need to learn that Pennsylvania is #1 in agriculture. We need to teach those and instill those things in our children, that as Pennsylvanians, we're good at agriculture, we're industrial, and if Trump wants to have steel being made, we can make steel in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, we can make aluminum in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and we can create those jobs that support families.
Same question, Tone Cook. You've seen what's going on in the city.
Yes.
Are some of the solutions maybe better things for kids to do? You have any specifics for us?
Yes, being inside of our communities, actually very active in our communities when it comes to the youth. Without holding any type of elected official position, I've been offering different things for the children to do. I've been mentoring different things, mentoring children through their problems and their issues. I do believe that there aren't enough programs to keep the children involved, but I also agree with Miss Mayor Wanda Williams when she said parents, just like us, we need to be held accountable as well. But I do intend to fund up-and-coming entrepreneurs, business owners, and offer trades, just like, for example, we need new ideas, and one of those new ideas will even be dealing with barbershops. Those, we can offer them trades, and they can fund the youth and fund them for learning. Even if you want to get more creative and bring in studios for our youth. They like music now. Educational purpose, we could teach them. So I believe that there isn't enough being done and that there should be more done.
This one is going to be a show of hands. We kind of mentioned this earlier in some different capacities. Raise your hand if you think Harrisburg should install police cameras. Raise your hand if there should be police cameras. Only one person raising their hand.
Cameras on their body?
I'm sorry about that. These would be cameras throughout the city, on poles or in different locations, not body cameras.
Most definitely. We do have cameras in some part of the city.
Yeah.
That
So
are
let's,
high crime areas.
now that I've clarified, sorry about that. Raise your hand if you.
clarify police versus not police.
Not police.
A citizen's run.
Well, I know we have the Ring cameras going around a little bit, right? And that's asking the citizens to be involved in that. So let's just open this up.
I mean where a citizens group owns and manages the cameras, not the police.
Is that your solution?
That is my solution.
Okay, let's just
So
get a
I
quick.
go with that
We'll
one.
do a quick comment on each of these then.
Yes, I want to mention about the cameras. Do I feel as though that it's important that we have cameras in the high crime areas? Yes, absolutely. But back to Mr. Dan Miller, what he's been saying is everything that you've been saying was about your neighbors. We're speaking about the whole entire city of Harrisburg, and even outside of the entire city of Harrisburg. Cameras aren't the answer, maybe to your neighbors, but we're speaking about the whole entire city. I think that we need a chance to try to correct some of the wrong things that we've been doing with team working together. Whoever becomes the next mayor for the city of Harrisburg or current standing mayor for the city of Harrisburg, we work together. I do not believe and feel as though we need cameras all throughout the city, but high crime areas, absolutely.
Mr. Miller, you want to respond to that?
Well, I
Don't
think
have to,
we'll
but-
be able to put them everywhere in the city. But yes, it's basically about high crime areas. That's what I'm, talking about. And then if that we need to go more, then we need to go more.
Oh, you
but high
mentioned-
crime, yeah, but it's comprehensive. I mean, crime is everywhere. It's
No,
not
I'm just
on.
speaking off of you
it's-
mentioning your neighbors. This involves
well,
the whole
here's the
entire
thing.
city.
My neighbors have experienced a lot of shootings and crime and murder.
I've been
They
there.
are very upset. They want some action, and this is the thing that they would like to see.
Okay, I think you both made your point on that. We're going to move to other people answering that question. I'm going to get to you, Mr. Butts, on the cameras.
Well, see, when you equip as an infrastructure piece a municipal Wi-Fi system, you can put cameras up anywhere and take them down. But we have to have a platform and a layer that we have a municipal Wi-Fi system. Other cities have it. We can have it too. It's not a big deal. Let's work at making sure that we can communicate with our police, our fire departments, to make sure that they're responsive. Let's get a municipal system going so we can erect cameras where Dan wants them, where Miss Wanda wants them, or where you want them. That's the name of the game.
Movable cameras you're talking about. Okay, Mr. Jones, on the cameras, what are you thinking?
So when I first took office, I went to the county's public safety office and building and realized the county owns cameras. But what happens is the sustainability of those cameras. A lot of those cameras aren't even working. So you don't really want to hardwire the whole city of Harrisburg. I've been down to York. I worked with Police Commissioner Mordreau in York, and we talked extensively about those portable CCTVs. We're all talking about putting them right into the high crime areas, which is the perfect idea, but they're not attached to any infrastructure. They can sustain all inclement weather. They can store up to 6 months of data. They have LPR capability and connectivity. These are things that we can utilize. And once he purchased one of them, the DA saw how good it worked. They bought him one. Then philanthropy kicked in and all of those things. So we'll be able to find ways to pay for that. So I think mobile cameras are a better idea and a better way to go.
How's that sound to you, Ms. Williams?
No, I don't think so. We just met with a group, and they had a great system to look at all the activity that's going on in the corridors of the city of Harrisburg. Yes, we do need cameras all over the city, but can we afford it? Not right now, but we have put grants out there to purchase those cameras. And also, when in some of those areas, as Mr. Miller so kindly said that it was in his area, we haven't had that much crime in Mr. Miller's area. He states that, but statistic-wise, we have not. He keeps saying that we have that crime. We have crime all over the city of Harrisburg, but we have not had a lot of crime in the particular area that he's talking about. But we will be doing, the Ring cameras have helped us solve the problem of shooting 2 weeks ago. With the Ring cameras, we was able to take 2 people in today. We got the first one a couple days ago. We got the second young man today. So Ring cameras are effective.
Mr. Miller, you were mentioned there for a second. If you'd like to respond, you can.
Well, it's a confusing thing that Ms. Williams said. I mean, there's crime all over.
Statistics. You're saying that there's a lot of crime in the area. You live on Emerald and 2nd Street, and there's not a lot of crime in Emerald and 2nd Street.
That's your point. Let's see what he wants to say.
Well, that's not what I've been saying, and I haven't said I was only referring to the actual crimes. This is at my garden, which is my neighborhood too. It's at Atlas Street. We've had the crimes at 4th and Woodbine. A woman was murdered there last year. I've been in the garden at Atlas Street where there's been shootings. There was a shootout at Emerald and 4th Street. Just this week, there was a man who was found dead on Logan Street in the 2100 block.
Okay.
So there's a lot of crime there, and I don't want to argue about the statistics.
If you still want to talk about this, you're going to have to use another question as part of that, which is fine. If you need to do that, that's okay. We're going to get to this. One more question about crime and some solutions that we've been talking about. And Ms. Mayor, you just mentioned accountability, but also affordability. So I'm going to start with Lamont Jones on this one. The Group Violence Initiative, you're familiar with it. York has said it's a big success. They have 7 full-time employees. Harrisburg right now has 2. Is it worth keeping if it's just 2 people? Can this still work? Is that the idea, or would we need more members to fund this, and how would we fund it? That's the question.
Well, I know that they are working on grants. Right now, I'm not getting a lot of information regarding the GVI, but from what I've been knowledgeable and been able to go down and watch and see in York, I've not have seen one call-in with the Harrisburg City's GVI. A call-in is where they identify the people that they know are shooting in the community, and you bring them in. You can't bring them in all at once because they may be rival gangs or whatnot. So you bring them in, but you need credible messengers to go in. We actually, City Council actually passed the money for the credible messenger training. And while we were there was only maybe four or five people that actually were from the community that were able to get their accreditation for it, but they never been called upon, never been reached out to. So I think we could do better. I don't think that we should get rid of GVI. It's proven through John Jay College, but I think we can do better with it.
Okay, Ms. Williams, same question. What do we do about 2 employees versus 7 when we're saying that's working, even though it takes time in York, and Harrisburg right now is hanging with 2, trying to get to those results?
It took York 5 to 6 years to get where they are today. And so we are continually trying to improve the complement of the GVI program, as well as that we continue to have training each and every week. He's not familiar with the training because they have not involved him with the training, but we are continuously training, and we're out there each and every day talking to those individuals, trying to get those group members and to the city of Harrisburg to talk to them, sit down with them. So we are working every day with that GVI program, and we're spending the money as stated in the grant.
The question was, I'm going to ask again, though, is it relevant to keep at just 2 and expect results, or do we need to get to 7?
No, we'll be looking to hire another individual in the next 6 or 7 months. We do need additional help with that GVI program.
Okay. Louis Butts, it's at 2 right now. They say they need to get to 7 to be as effective as York. What's your thoughts on the GVI program where it stands?
You know, I'll give them all the time they need to get it together. But right now, we have Pennsylvania State Trooper cars for sale right on Hearst Street. We can buy 4 State Trooper cars equip them with cameras, and sit them at hotspots throughout the city, and there will be no crime that takes place wherever those cops are, those placebo cops are, cop cars. We can do it cheaper. We can work with the state troopers, get those cars. You've seen those cars up there. Some of them are great. All you got to do is fix them up a little bit and put them at hot spots. It will deter crime instantly. And that's my solution first day, is work with the state troopers to get some of those cars on our hot spots.
Mr. Tone Cook, same question. If you want to comment on something else, that's part of your time.
Can you please ask?
Sure, same thing. It's the GVI initiative working in York, it seems. They've had nice results.
Yes.
Haven't seen that in Harrisburg yet. 2 employees versus 7. So should more money be put to that to get up to 7? And where would that money come from?
I believe that it should be put to it. But honestly speaking on GVI, I don't have, of course it takes time. But honestly, we don't have too much time. But however, I just did something with GVI, you know, and thanks to Miss Mayor Wanda Williams and another employee that allowed me to come out and interact and walk with them. I do believe that it could be of some help. Now, is it active enough inside of our communities? I don't believe so. And I wanted to mention another thing as far as the violence goes. Now, we keep mentioning about people, you know, having their own experiences. But however, I've been the one there without being in any type of position, standing at these scenes, standing at these crime scenes while these family members are crying, while these family members are grieving, and these students and these children don't even know how to grieve. I've been there before, so I believe that GVI is needed, but I believe that a lot more is needed, and it doesn't take too much time. But all we have to do is get out there. You don't have to be in the position. I've been doing it.
We got a lot to get to. I want to get to downtown economic development. Ms. Williams, you'll start us on this one, but first we're going to listen to another question from the public, one of the voters out there.
All right, my name is Marcus Page. I'm a lifelong resident of Harrisburg. And one question I have is, what are we going to do with 2nd Street and Restaurant Row?
I was out there when we got this. He says, it's called Restaurant Row. There's not enough restaurants out here. What do you say?
Well, we're looking at that. Right now, we currently have a restaurant that is interested in setting up an establishment in Harrisburg. We have a bank that's also coming down there as well. We do have 2 other restaurants that we have a meeting with in the next 3 weeks that are interested as well. We did set up a committee to discuss the revitalization of the 2nd Street corridor. So we are working towards that. You just don't jump up and ask someone to come or meet with them and say, look, this is what we have to offer, when at this point they don't have enough revenue. And so what we've done is twice we've given the downtown corridor $10,000 apiece to try to come back from the COVID. They haven't done that, they've left. And I know it's because of the state workers, they said, but actually they have to put a plan in place themselves, because if we've helped them twice, then what are they doing? Because we cannot continuously help someone. You have to be self-sufficient at one point in time. We cannot do another $10,000, but we are looking with this staff that we have and this format we have, we're looking to do that, to revitalize the 2nd Street corridor.
All right, 2nd Street, Restaurant Row. Louis Butts, what's the idea?
You can't throw money at people. You have to have a plan. And right now, our city, our administration, we don't have a comprehensive plan. We have something from 2020 that's still a draft. So it's up to us. If I'm the mayor, it'd be my administration that establishes a comprehensive plan that we can measure. We would ask people, what kind of stores do you want downtown? So we can have some interaction, so we can have some back and forth, so we can have some dialogue, put some flavor in it. Not some little group that I would, as mayor, get together and say, this is my team. The population is the team. We have to give some of the ownership of what they want so we can create a dialogue and reduce some of the stressors in Harrisburg through communication.
Okay. Mr. Cook, 2nd Street, Restaurant Row, it's a priority for that person we talked to. What do you say?
Yes, I believe that it's going to take, like, I can speak on myself, what I've been actively doing. Getting with business owners, speaking with business owners, and trying to bring together with a solution that we can all come up with, because it's not my idea or his idea, but the plans, we can all have plans. It's those who's going to enforce the plan and act upon it. So I believe that if we get together with business owners and young entrepreneurs and release some type of funding, and as well, speaking with City Council, with that relationship with City Council, release some type of funding to young entrepreneurs and up-and-coming businesses, and also bring new ideas to attract more people, which creates revenue. I believe that what I have been doing, excuse me, I'm stuttering a little bit, but what I have been doing is getting with the local DJs, getting with the local promoters, and something that I've been doing, been active inside of downtown, outside, around throughout the city to bring businesses and bring safety. So one thing that we also have to do is ensure the people's safety, or it will not happen.
All right, Dan Miller, same question. 2nd Street Restaurant Row, how big of a priority would that be for Mayor Miller?
I want to go back to another comment. Okay. Louis, I think you and I ought to get together on McCormick Island, because I go running along Front Street almost every day. I run along McCormick Island. I think it would be so cool to have a zip line from Harrisburg over to McCormick Island and back. Anyway, on that note, but we'll talk about it later.
The collaboration is underway.
I think 2nd Restaurant Row is really important. It's crucial to downtown Harrisburg. And there's several things we have to do. First of all, we got to work with CREDIC, with the Chamber of Commerce, with the business owners down there, the big business owners outside of the city who know that we need a vibrant downtown. All of us have to get together and work on that. We've got to take some of those real estate, commercial real estates that are office buildings, and convert them into apartments. That gives us more foot traffic downtown. We've got to make it pedestrian friendly. We need trees. We need entertainment. We need to make it a place that people want to go.
All right, Lamont Jones, same question. When you're looking at 2nd Street Restaurant Row, how big of a priority would that be for you as mayor?
Well, it's a huge priority. Not to say that the rest of the city would be neglected, but as far as we have to find ways to take the strain off the residents that live in the city of Harrisburg. And by doing that, I think that we should be able to market the city of Harrisburg. I don't feel that the city of Harrisburg has been marketed in a way that it's attracting people, especially when it comes to codes, ordinances, and things. We have some archaic things that are on the books. Being at City Council and looking at that, we just recently had to change an ordinance so that downtown can thrive right now with the new businesses that came in. But that's just one of the things. And I also agree that we do have to make more living spaces. We can't be dependent on what the state workers did at that time. That era is gone. It's time for a new direction. And when you put those people in that, this is not a guessing game. They live there. This is going to be foot traffic over and over again because these people live here. And repurpose a lot of those state buildings that are sitting empty. They're not making any money. They're exempt, like some of the nonprofit properties. So I think we definitely have to market the city of Harrisburg and work a little bit more closer with Harrisburg Hershey.
You mentioned marketing. That is my next question here. A lot of times when you're the mayor of the city, you end up becoming the voice. You're the figurehead. And you got to sell the city, and you got to be excited about it. So this is your chance. You got a minute. It's just in the form. We're asking this as part of our questioning. How do you sell the city? What's your sales pitch if you end up at one of these big places where all the different city mayors are? What is your sales pitch? And we're going to start with Louis Butts on this one.
Harrisburg is the hub of Pennsylvania. We have great scenery. We have a beautiful river that can also pose as an energy engine, economic engine, and as well as we can do everything that we need to do to move forward regards to industry, and we won the Civil War. Our Civil War heritage is the best in the world. Gettysburg's whole economy thrives on their Civil War heritage. Harrisburg has never beat our chest to winning the Civil War. We have the Smithsonian up on top of our hill, and our schools don't have courses and classes to teach our children how we won the Civil War. Liberty for all. That's what we stand for. We're liberators, and we got wins to show that we're number one in this country.
All right, Mr. Cook, you're selling the city, and you got a minute to do it. How would it go?
The city of Harrisburg, and agree with Mr. Louis Butts, the city of Harrisburg holds so much history. And for one example is the Broad Street Market. In 1860, it was established, but not only was it just established, it was established and it was feeding war veterans. It was feeding people that needed to be fed, that were fighting for not only the city of Harrisburg, but fighting for our country. So another thing that I will bring into play is speak about the new up and coming new ideas. We have so many business promoters. We have so many promoters throughout the city of Harrisburg that bring people from different states, different countries, just to come to the city of Harrisburg to enjoy themselves. However, it's a problem, but that problem has been overcome. We have been able to put a hand on the violence that has been taking place inside of our city. And when we can address that issue and we can bring that to the table, all the attraction will be back to Harrisburg, PA.
Okay, the job is to sell the city. And next up is Mr. Dan Miller.
Well, we do have a very beautiful city, and I've traveled all over the world, and it's really hard to think of a city that has a beautiful river like Harrisburg has. The Susquehanna is just great here. And we've got great architecture. We've got a great location. I mean, and great weather conditions here in Harrisburg. It's a great place. But even on top of that, we are extremely affordable. I happen to know 2 couples, didn't know them at all, and just within the past 4 months I've met them. One came from Phoenix, one came from Long Island. They just wanted to move. They had no idea about Harrisburg. They just got on the website and looking around, saw the great architecture, saw the affordable housing. Bam, they moved here and they love it. So Harrisburg has a lot to offer, and I think we can sell it easily. I think Lamont's right. We need to advertise in Baltimore, in Philadelphia, in New York City. Lots of people would want to live here in Harrisburg if they know how affordable it is and what great architecture we have.
Yeah, when you see some of the rankings for some of the national magazines, Harrisburg ends up doing pretty well on that. So to that end, Lamont Jones, it's time to sell the city. You got a minute.
Yeah, at one time we were one of the best places to live in the state of Pennsylvania. But I believe in also tapping into our assets. Harrisburg does have a rich history here. We've been around for a very long time, and a lot of things have taken place, from signing of documents, civil wars, and all of those. We have one of the smallest parks in the city of Harrisburg, Cam Curtin Mitchell Memorial, right up there on 6th and Woodbine. That's one of the attractions, but we have to actually sell our parks as well. But one of the things that I think that we need to do, not just by attracting, I want those people to know, as I'm talking to some of them now that actually want to do business with the city of Harrisburg. I know it looks dire right now, but there's nothing but opportunity. When COVID shut down, we had to rechange the way we thought, the way we communicated, the way we did business. And right now, I think we have that opportunity with the city of Harrisburg. And you could be the first person to come in and be that catalyst to move our city forward.
Look at that. He was making the video right there as we spoke. Ms. Williams, you've probably had this scenario before where you've been in groups and you have to say how great your city is. Give us a taste of what that sounds like.
Well, I've been talking to other mayors. I talk to them on a periodic basis every 2 weeks. Harrisburg has a lot to offer, and even more now than before, because before we did not have affordable housing. We have over 250 affordable housing units now available. We've also had 3 units for veterans to live in. We also have 2 units. One is finished already for seniors. And also, no bond debt anymore. We're almost out of Act 47. We have, as Mr. Miller indicated, we have the Susquehanna River. We're looking at doing something on the Susquehanna River as far as on a week-by-week basis. And then we also have demolition of blighted properties that we have here that we're now having developers come in, and we're in the middle of discussions with a developer who's looking at doing more houses, affordable housing. Plus, there's 400 new businesses that came in 2024. Out of the 490, we have 218 that's right here in the city. Right now, as of today, we have 86 new businesses in the city of Harrisburg. So altogether, we have 300 new businesses coming to the city. So we do have something for everyone to come here.
There we go. All right, so from all those positives we talked about to something that's kind of lingering over the city still right now, I'm going to go to Mr. Tone Cook to start with this one.
Yes.
It is the Broad Street Market.
Yes.
And this has gone on for a while. I want to get your take on this when it comes to what would you do about this first thing if you win the election and you become mayor? You can comment about sort of where things were, where they're going. Your choice. You got a minute.
Yes, absolutely. It's much history, myself included, from my grandfather living in Jackson Lake Apartments, bringing food to me as a child my grandfather Ernie Bullock bringing food to me as a child from the Broad Street Market. So this is personal to me. So one of the things that I will piggy tank off of Mr. Lewis Butts is that he said bringing the Mennonites and the Amish, which we all know that they have a history of building things back. But what I would do as the next mayor for the city of Harrisburg is I would speed up that process, and I will have to work with city council. City council will have to work with us. If we're all looking for the same things and bigger and pushing Harrisburg forward, then we should all be willing to work together. But I do believe that speeding the process up for the Broad Street Market is very much so important. And I just gave you a little bit of history not too long ago, a few questions back before. So that's one thing that I would do as the next mayor for the city of Harrisburg, speed that process up, and I will be stern on getting the job done.
We'll go to Dan Miller on this. You've seen some money situations when it comes to the Broad Street Market. There's some controversy about how much is really out there, what's going on, if we're losing some time on getting some money in on this. Tell us from your perspective what's happening with the Broad Street Market right now. A lot of people want to know what's happening.
Well, I think it's a prime example of incompetence management in the city. I mean, it wasn't a priority, obviously. Nothing happened. It delayed, and it's only gotten worse. So once I become mayor, that will be a top priority. I will assign the folks that want to get that completed immediately to that project. They're going to want to get it done. Everybody's going to want to get it done. We make it a priority. We've got to talk with the county and use the county. We've got to talk with the state and use the state. They all want to state can get things done. You see it right there at the governor's mansion. That's almost completed now. And that was what, 2 weeks ago. So we can get this done. There's no question that we can do it, and we can do it quickly. But I just talked to a guy yesterday at the Broad Street Market and business there. He says, and I said, well, I'm not sure what the status will be in January if I become mayor. He said, I don't think a darn thing's going to happen from now till the end of the year.
All right, Mr. Lamont Jones, you know, you've been on the council. You've voted against some of the things coming your way when it comes to trying to get things moving. You've had your reasons for that. You have a minute to talk about this issue right now.
Yeah, so again, you know, contrary to what people may think, a lot of people think they don't really understand how council works and what happens. So we make decisions based off of our information. And so when we looked at the information regarding the Broad Street Market, a lot of us that remember that first vote was 5-2. So it was 5 of us that did not agree with the process of how this company was selected. But other than that, as the mayor, I would have executive powers. I wouldn't even need council at that point. You know, it only took 3 weeks that we had to come back with the rubric. We re-voted, and then the company that they wanted, they got. I can't answer why it's not happening right now, but if it was me as mayor again, I would have been looking at an engineer or an architect, and because you need to know what you're building first. And then you can get that architect. You could dump this with an executive power. You could have gave the market manager the power to go ahead and select who they wanted. You did not need council. And we didn't hold that up. And one of the reasons I want people to not understand this is because right now with that tent over there, we are now paying $5,000 a month as taxpayers, right? In January of 2026, we'll be paying $6,500 a month.
Got to wrap you up on that one. Got to wrap you up. So the process is what was just mentioned there. Ms. Williams, you know, a minute is not a lot of time, but I know you use it wisely when you're talking about where we stand on the Broad Street Market, and in particular, what it's been like to be at the head of this and trying to get things done.
That's why I'm the mayor, because they don't understand. They don't understand the process, okay? First of all, I can't do executive order. Only the governor of this state can do executive statute order. And second of all, if I could have did the executive order, I would have done that. And third thing, they didn't understand the information. Although 5 voted and 2 didn't, 5 didn't vote and 2 did, 2 of them understood, the 5 didn't understand the process. There's a process, and the Broad Street Market Alliance did not have insurance. They did not, they let it lapse. So we had to go to our own insurance cover. They had to tell us a timeline. We could not get in the market to clean it up. We couldn't do anything with the market until the insurance company gave us the okay. And when we did have an opportunity, we waited until 2024 at the end of December. That's when they gave us the okay. We start moving. We start putting bids out and everything for that. And right now, June 1st is when the bids come back in. We will start reconstructing the market fall of this year. They didn't understand. They should have asked.
Let's go to Lewis Butts. We've heard it mentioned before. You have an idea that you thought that the Amish and the Mennonite could come together and help build this thing. Is that practical? Have you actually looked into that?
You got to ask yourself, is that practical? You know what they do. they get their people together, and it would help if citizens who know how to do the job can chime in with them to get it done. It could be a community event to where it brings us all together as people, a kumbaya moment, a wow, we got it done in 2 months moment, wow, we got it done in 3. This is what the Amish do. Let them do it and let God be with us. That would be my solution. And if you want to chime in, then you can help screw a screw in, cut a 2x4 if that's what you really want to do. But let's get the job done so we can move forward and put our focus and priority on other things like our children.
Got some specific questions. Oh, he didn't mention you.
There's a legal process, Mr. Woods, okay? And the Amish do not follow the legal process when they do the building of anything. So there's a legal process, the bidding process. We have to follow the legal process. You must understand, you're not the mayor, so you wouldn't know.
I'll let you respond.
I know as Pennsylvanians we can compromise and get things done from the state down. We're a commonwealth. We've always done things to get things done the most easily. Let's rely on our citizenry and our culture to make it happen even more. We're strong. We've always been strong. And we're going to be strong. Just let's get it done and stop looking at money that we can give our people instead. Matter of fact, didn't the guy steal like some money before? We could have been through all of that. It's just like a circus routine. Let's stop playing games.
Well, we're gonna move on to another topic. These are specific questions for each candidate. We're starting with Mr. Dan Miller on this one. You've run for mayor before. What's changed in your approach this time to try to get a different outcome?
Well, when I ran before, first of all, I was working full-time, managing my CPA firm and running. I ran only because we had a mayor that people wanted to get rid of, and it appeared that I would be the likely person to do that. So it's fairly complicated, but now I'm not working at full-time at my job, so I have the time to do that. There was also someone who had put a lot of money into that race against me, because I think I'm just too independent, and those are specific. So it's very different this time. I've given it my full go. I think we're way in the lead. I think we've got tons of support. We've run a very good campaign, and I think we'll do well on Election Day.
Mr. Jones, something specific for you. You've had a bunch of cleanup events in this city. I want to know how you think they're going, and then how challenging is it to keep the area clean? You get there once, but then how fast does it need it again?
Well, it's sometimes it depends on where you're doing it at. We did one on 18th and Regina, removed the graffiti with the gang signs on it. And what was so special about that moment, the young man that lost his life, as we were doing that, the father came and he was a little irate at the time till we told him what we plan to do with the property. And we're definitely going to try to do something to honor his son. But I don't think anyone in this community in our city should be honoring anybody with these makeshift memorials. This is sometimes this is graffiti in the community. But as we did that, the community itself came out and started to work. When we did the cleanup uptown on 6th and Woodbine, as you can see now, Governor Square, there's a problem. But once you do, you want to come in and motivate that community, show them how you clean up your neighborhood, and that can also eliminate crime. So, as much as it's needed, I think people will be still up to par to do the work.
The specific question this time is for the current mayor. You said that if you do not win the primary, you still plan to run the write-in campaign in November. What does that tell voters who already made a decision about you in just a couple weeks?
Because it depends on who the mayor is, who they chose. Because in my belief, I feel that I'm the best candidate for this position. I've been in this position 3 years and 5 months. And they don't have the experience, nor do they have the knowledge. They think that you can go in there, sit in there, and do A, B, and C, but it's more than that. It takes time. I'm there every day. Now, Mr. Miller talks about what he would do and what he has done when he was in his position as work. Mr. Miller didn't even come to work as a treasurer. They had elected him to be the treasurer. He came once a month. He let his whole office run that treasurer. They weren't even open after COVID, but one day out of the week. The only reason that he opened up the department is because we gave his secretary or deputy treasurer $11,000 raise. And he demanded that we do that, which we did. But I'll tell you right now, they don't know all the specifics of what we have to do as a mayor each and every day. All the million phone calls, 22,000 emails that I had to go through when I walked into that office in 2022.
Okay, you were mentioned there. Yeah, go ahead.
I can't, there's so much that's false and misleading.
You got 30 seconds. Let's see what you can do.
I cannot even know where to start. But I would say, please, anybody who knows that Celia Spicer, our deputy secretary, deputy treasurer, she would tell you she did not get an $11,000 raise. That's complete fabrication. And I just want you to know, the state workers, I'm at my office every day in some capacity, texting, telephone, or at my desk at my home, or because I don't even have an office in the Treasury office, I have to work at home. So if the state workers are working from home, hey, everybody can work from home.
All right, let's move on to Mr. Lewis Butts here. So what do you say to people who say that some of your ideas are unrealistic, including the aquarium that you're talking about bringing in?
Well, at one point, they said the pedal bike was crazy. At one point, they said a car was crazy. You have to build it, and they will come. If you look at any other city across the state, across the world, aquariums work. They bring in billions and billions when it comes to revenue for the region as well as the city. We need a comprehensive plan that is outcome-based where people can see where the lots are being cleaned. We can see where the vacant, blighted areas are, and we could be specific at what we're doing to cure those problems. We can see where the hot spots are. We need a comprehensive plan that shows what we've achieved as well as where we're going. If we want safe streets, we got to make sure there's a plan set up like Lancaster has a comprehensive plan, York, Gettysburg, all these cities have comprehensive plans. We need something that shows transparency and keeps everything on our sleeve.
Mr. Cook, you've never been in public office before. How do you plan to be successful in the political office like that with such prowess when you've never had that kind of experience before?
I plan to be successful by bringing in a team, a new administration, even have some current administration, because knowledge never stops and I do not know it all. However, I'm very much so in tune as to what's going on. Just like the brother Lamont Jones just mentioned, I've been running beside candidates for years now, learning every step of the way. And that's another reason why I'm here today. So I will bring together others. And, no one knows every single thing. I can be more advanced on violence, stopping the violence. He could be more advanced in financial things. When you bring it all together, there's a way that we can work together, and that's what I intend to do. And another thing, I have to mention this. Over 500 new registered voters since entering the race has registered to vote, to be involved in their communities, to be engaged. That's what I bring as the new mayor for the city of Harrisburg, if elected. That's what I bring. I bring change.
We have one last question, and then we're going to hit our closing statements. But that question is not coming from me. Once again, it's from the public. And this is a really thoughtful guy. I talked to him for a while, and this is the question that he came up with.
What can you say to me that will convince me you're going to start from the bottom up?
I'll clarify here. We had a conversation about this. He says sometimes he sees in the city that they start from the top and try to make those people happy and then hope that the rest will work out. He's saying he believes it needs to start from the bottom up. You can agree or disagree with that, but that's his question. Show him that that's the way it should be and should go. So what would you say to him? We're going to start with Lamont Jones.
I would say that is a good method. Again, you have to, if you're serving the people, you have to know what they're going through. You have to be amongst them. And being a lifelong resident, I'm that guy that knows. You can tell what's happening. You know these cultural issues. You can see where there are deficits at. You have to start from the bottom and go up. But I think at some point you will definitely meet in the middle. If we don't, you just don't want to rule with an iron fist and a velvet glove. You understand? You don't want to be at the top of that and just making everyone around you fearful of you. So if you're doing that, you're going to get a disaster. So you definitely have to stay rooted in your community. We know all of us are from here. We know what this city needs, but we have to really put that emphasis on it and show up, be there. Don't just sit in our offices and think that everything is going to go away. No, you have to be deeply rooted and involved. So yes, I agree with the young man.
Ms. Williams, your thoughts on what he had to say?
Well, I don't agree with that because, first of all, you don't have to start at the bottom, you don't have to start at the top, but you have to get in there as the mayor and evaluate what the positions are, what they're doing, how they're doing things, and how they will be a credit for you. And that's where I think that I've gotten to the point where I went in and I evaluated those positions to find out who had the best strengths or who had the best work ethic rule. And so, you know, when he talks about a bottom up, I'm a second chance person. I give everybody a second chance. I believe in that, and I think that we need to know what type of people that were coming in here. I want to give people an opportunity to know that the city is here for them. We work for them. Everything is based on the residents of this city, and that's what I've been doing in this administration. The priority, the residents of this city come first. So when you talk about the bottom or the top, no, you need to get in there and evaluate what those employees who have been left over from the previous administration, what they're doing and how well they're doing their job. If they're not doing their job, then that's when you need to take some action.
Mr. Lewis Butts, he says you got to go bottom up. What do you say?
You definitely got to go bottom up. You got to make sure everybody's accountable for. As the administrator, as the mayor, it's my job to make sure I serve everyone on an even playing field. They're part of the collective. They're part of the net worth of our city. There's natural resources, and then there's human resources. Some of those people at the bottom still have skills, and we need to evaluate. And we need a census. We need another census done to count heads and see where our human resources lie, even in the lowest, at the lowest point, so we can foster and nurture those skills that people have within them. It's about lifting people up. That is true. It's not glorifying the top. It's making sure everybody doesn't slip through the cracks. If it's the collective, if it's the 50,000 people need to be acknowledged and their voices heard. And that's what that guy's trying to say. Everybody's voice needs to be heard. And that's what I bring to the table.
Mr. Cook, what did it sound like to you?
I love it. I believe that you should build from the bottom up because I've been building from the bottom up. I didn't let any trials and tribulations stop me from building from the bottom up. Not only did I build myself up from the bottom up, I encourage others that they can do it. I encourage others that they can do it as well. The brother Lamont Jones also mentioned about show up and be there. Now, it's being thrown around a lot that we're always engaged in our communities. But however, being, like I said again previously, being boots on the ground, that is not the case. I am there inside of our communities, and the citizens of Harrisburg, PA, know that. So building from the ground up is something that I totally believe in. And that can also be from different things like the childhood that I experienced, also guiding those through the same experiences and showing them how that they can better themselves and educate others around them. So building from the bottom up is something that I stand for because today I wouldn't be here if it wasn't about building from the bottom up.
Okay, Dan Miller, bottom up is his idea. You've had some agreement here, not completely. What do you say?
I think he can see that I've already listened and I'm using the bottom up. When I was, shootings were in the neighborhood, people came to me. And I called Wanda right away, but nothing happened actually. But they want cameras. And so I've heard that. And going around town, door to door, it's great. I've talked to businessmen who tell me what they need. I talk to people that what they don't like. One guy said, you know, have you driven up 2nd Street? I mean, it's one pothole after another and it's not getting fixed. And this is what we need to do. We need to listen. We need to know what those folks want. And then we, as the mayor, need to implement it. We need to get it done efficiently. We need to get it done quickly. We need to get it done at a low cost.
Ms. Williams, you mentioned you real quick. You said he called you and nothing happened.
He's lying. And I'll tell you, you're lying. You didn't call me. You didn't call me.
I picked up my phone.
If you called me, then I would address that. Okay, you didn't call me. I don't care. You can put your phone out how many times you want to, because you're the one at the last debate to say, well, if you lie to the people, they'll get their votes. So if you're lying to get their votes, I'm telling you you're lying.
Last note on that.
Anybody who knows me knows I'm not lying.
Oh.
I did call, and it's classic Wanda. She says, yeah, I'm going to do this, And then
No,
she
I
never
know
does
you're
it.
lying.
And I've heard that repeatedly, over and over at every door. So many doors I've gone to wanted. I thought it was just my experience with you, but
Man,
no, it's many people's
You don't have
experience.
proof and documentation. Stop telling a lie if you don't have proof. I have proof that you lied. Okay?
Good,
I can
let's
show
hear
you
it.
that you didn't. I have a tape of all the people that call me, Dan.
Okay. We're going to stop right there, but we're not quite done yet. This time we're at 90 seconds to make your closing statements. And I believe this could be the last debate that we have anyway, so this could be your last moment to really talk to the voters out there. And once again, thank you so much for being here and giving those voters a real good feel for what you would be like as mayor. We did a draw before this for order, and Dan Miller is going first for our closing statements. You have 90 seconds.
Well, we really didn't delve into my qualifications, but that's the one thing that separates me from the rest of this crowd. They're great people. I'm not downing them in any way, but no one has the qualifications, the educations, the skill, the accomplishments that I do. I'm a CPA, certified public accountant. I have an MBA in finance. I've founded and managed a successful CPA firm downtown Harrisburg for 35 years. In addition to that, I've been on city council. I've been the city controller. I'm now the city treasurer. I know the ins and outs of government. I know just completely how mismanaged and incompetent and the missteps that we've had down there. That's the reason I'm running, because I can hardly take it anymore. In addition to that, I'm well connected to the community. I've served on board of directors from WITF to Planned Parenthood. I've founded many gay and lesbian organizations, including the Pride Festival. Currently, I'm on the board of the Community Checkup Center in Hall Manor, where we give medical services to those who, whether they can pay or not pay. And in addition, as I've talked about my garden, I own and operate a free community garden in Uptown Harrisburg, which is a really safe, cool place that people love. And the whole community loves it.
Thank you very much. The next in our order that we decided upon earlier with the blind draw is Lamont Jones. You have 90 seconds, your closing statement.
Okay, which one camera is mine? I need to talk
There you
right
go.
here, number 3. I need to talk to the city. For so long, we have been going through so many things in the city of Harrisburg. Administration after administration after administration has promised us that they were going to do some things, and it didn't happen. We can look at the conditions of our city right now and see. I'm not going to blame anyone specifically. I just don't think that our city is going in the right direction. I'm not going into this office to play games. I'm not going in this office to trade access for integrity. I'm going in here to do the real work that you need. And a lot of you out there are standing with me, and I appreciate you. But this is the time that we have to make a real hard decision. There are a lot of things that are happening when it comes to our politics. There are a lot of people that manipulate our politics and try to fool you because they know that you don't know all of the information. But I'm someone that has been around you, and you've watched me grow. You've watched me pull myself up by my bootstraps. It's time. I'm the person that you need. We let a lot of our past hinder us. And sometimes it's not just that, it's those fears. Right now, what you need, Harrisburg, is someone that is fearless. And his name is Lamont Jones, number 4 on the ballot. Vote for me on May 20th, and you'll get your city back.
Thank you very much. Louis Butts will go next. 90 seconds to talk to the voters.
Thank you. My name is Louis Butts. I'm number 3. And if you want real change, if you want to be able to turn this ship, we're going to need infrastructure pieces. I'm proposing the Harrisburg Hydro Generation Plant off of the Cumberland County Bridge. This will produce over $270 million annually off of our Susquehanna River. This would help reduce some of the taxation that we have on our senior citizens. It will provide an energy matrix that we would also be able to use for energy. So if you have an electric car, you can actually plug it in Harrisburg and you'll be good. Our budget is $85 million. The 270, that's a lot of extra millions just off the river. I'm proposing a aquarium that also brings revenue. I'm proposing a football stadium on City Island, along with a NFL Hall of Fame called the Sean McCoy Stadium. This will also bring attractions. We have to compete with Hershey. We have to compete with Lancaster. We have to compete with Gettysburg. We're in competition, and we should be capital quality. Our quality should be number one. And with Harrisburg and me, we will be number one. We're the capital city, and that makes us number one. Let's go.
Thank you very much, Mr. Butts. So 90 seconds to talk to the voters. Mr. Tone Cook.
Yes. My name is Tone Cook, number one on the ballot. I am a founder, CEO of Michael's Memory Push organizations, founded on stopping the gun violence, empowering our youth. Not only I'm a community activist, the same community activists that were there for the people inside of the city of Harrisburg, leading these marches, leading these troops to call upon what's right and be fair by both not only those in elected positions, but also those who we work for, the community. And what separates me from everyone else is I am not an elected official, and I've already been making impacts inside of our community. So I ask that you place your vote for Tone Cook, number one on the ballot. We are pushing for change, not to bring in the old administration that, has let many of us down, but to bring in new and to lead our city forward. Another thing is, what qualifies me is my hands-on experience in our communities. Everything that we've been faced in our communities, I've been active, I've been there. No matter what I've been going through in my personal life, I put it all to the side to stand for the people, and I intend to throw myself in this race, even with the things that has been thrown at me and the things that I've been, slandered with, lies. So again, I stand for the people and for the city of Harrisburg, and I will continue to stand for the people for the city of Harrisburg, but I ask that you place the right votes and not the vote for that who will sell your city out, just like they tried to sell me out when I did not want to take charges.
That is your time.
To offer me charges to be dismissed, I'd rather take on the fire for my city and stand for the people.
Okay, thank you. 90 seconds for Ms. Wanda Williams, your closing statement to the voters.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want the voters to know that I have proven my leadership, my skills, and my knowledge in this position. In this position, I can balance the budget without no tax increase for you. I can negotiate contracts. Streets have never been cleaner. And please don't be fooled by these candidates that stand up here and tell you what they're going to do, where their vision is. Ask them what their vision is. No one has told you what they're going to do, how they're going to do things, okay? And please don't be fooled by Miller, because city council member, he cost us $1 million because he sued Mayor Reed. Controller, he cost us additional money because he sued Mayor Thompson because he did not allow the city workers to have a paycheck deposit in their account. So don't be fooled by what he says, because he's not been in the community. Where were these candidates when things happen in this community? And I'm not talking about the shooting. I'm talking about where were they at the events? You see none of them. Where were they when fires happened? You see none of them to help the families. Where were you when the tornado came down in the city of Harrisburg? They weren't there. Ask them why they don't come to events. They only see them now because they're running for the positions. Who has the experience? How can you have experience if you not worked the whole year, your whole life, okay? So I'm asking you.
Nope, you can't interrupt. This is the end of this. We all agree to the rules. We all agree to the rules.
Excuse me.
Hold on.
Excuse
Let's stop
me.
the timer. Let's stop the timer for a moment.
Excuse me.
We all agree to the rules. If you want to address this afterwards, you can. But this debate has specific rules, and she can say what she wants to in her 90 seconds.
He did sue the Mayor Reed. He did sue. And then again, he sued Mayor Thompson because no, okay? And then he went on as the treasurer from 2023 to 24 and held up the bookkeeping and processing of business privilege taxes. And so they weren't able to get their receipts from that. Yes, he did all those things. And then we had 3 public meetings to talk about his trash bill. And we had 3 public meetings, 3 different places, and every last citizen did not want their trash bill attached to the real estate bill. So he lied about that. So I'm saying you're sitting up here telling you what you're going to do.
Your time is up.
I'm telling the residents, I've been your advocate for 25 years. I will continue to be your advocate. I would continue to be there for you when you need me, as I am now. Thank you.
That is your time. I will tell everyone else, obviously, there's a candidate here that says something is not right about what he just heard. We can address that afterwards on our newscast as well, but we all agreed to certain rules. So addressing that would be great. I would love to deal with that, and we could try to figure out what the truth is there. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We got a lot of information here. Seems like we got to work out a few other things as well. Don't forget, folks, the municipal primary election is Tuesday, May 20th. Polls open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Even if you don't live in Harrisburg, it's an important election. This is the capital city, everybody. And council positions are open for a number of people as well. Hopefully you guys will vote. Do not forget that the voters will also be selecting a new mayor in York and Lancaster as well. The last day to request the mail-in ballot or absentee ballot, you still got time for that. That is Tuesday, May 13th. There's no Republican running for mayor in Harrisburg, so likely this will be the winner for whoever will take this title and win the primary. I want to thank all of our candidates for joining us tonight. I want to thank all of you for watching on CBS 21's Facebook and YouTube pages. And for everybody else that put this together, I thank them for everything as well. Voters, it's now up to you.